Hi, in this video you're going to learn all about laptop CPU circuit. So let's get started. We're gonna see the CPU circuit studying, the most common faults on a CPU circuit, and the CPU circuit schematic analysis. So let's begin with the CPU circuit in this motherboard. Of course, we're gonna see three motherboards. So this is the second motherboard that we're gonna study, and here we have the third motherboard. So I'm going to show you all about CPU circuit in three types of motherboards in order to go deeper into understanding CPU circuit. So let's get started. So here we have the CPU, and this is the CPU circuit, where we have inductors and MOSFETs. We have two inductors means two channel for the CPU, two power channel, because each inductor means one channel. So we have here inductor with two MOSFETs with this ceramic capacitor. This is one channel. We have another inductor, two MOSFETs, two ceramic capacitor. This is a second channel. Basically, in the back of this processor, we have other components, as you can see. So we have this two tantalum capacitor with these two MOSFETs and this ceramic capacitor with, for the first channel, we have another two tantalum capacitors, two MOSFETs, and here we have about three ceramic capacitors, the second channel. And this is the power management IC, or the CPU power management IC. Basically, its reference is Maxim 8770. As you can see, Max 8770. So to look for the datasheet of this IC, we can just go to Google and let's type Max 8770. So here we have two options. We have equivalent and datasheet. So here we have two options. Let's choose datasheet, Max 8770 datasheet. So of course, let's pick the first results. Here we go. So here, as you can see, we should look for the same reference. As you can see here, we have Max 8770. We have here the description, the Max 8770, as you can see, power management controller for the CPU core, as you can see. So this is a power management controller for the CPU. Here we have the file. It has about 47 page. Okay, so let's download this file right now. You can just click here and then go to downloads. As you can see, we have download. This press click Max 8770, and as you can see, we get the file, the same file. Of course, the Max 8770 has other equivalent like Max 8771 and Max 8772, as you can see. So we can just press this icon here to download the file to your desktop. Here basically we have the features, all features about this IC, including temperature, voltage, etc. And here we have characteristics, many characteristics, including current limits, voltage limits, and so on. This is, as you can see here, its datasheet, as you can see. So this is Maxim 8770 datasheet, as you can see here. For example, here we have these 7 signals are IDs, the processor IDs. So based on these IDs, this IC can know the value of the voltage that can generate, can know the exact VCC core that should be generated. So of course we have IC, here we have inductor, and we have a current sense resistor and ceramic capacitor, and we have, as you can see, two MOSFETs. Always you will find two MOSFETs in order to generate an output voltage. So this is basically an overview about. So here we will get the output, the VCC core, the output voltage. So here basically this is the second channel. So this is the second channel with the same component. Two MOSFETs, inductor, capacitor, current sense resistor, and we will get an output, a VCC core. Okay, so we have IC with two channels in order to get the VCC core. So this is basically an overview about the CPU power management IC. So here we have the second motherboard. As you can see, this is the CPU basically, and here we have the CPU circuit where we have the secondary components. So the model of the CPU is AMD, as you can see, Athlon. Okay, this is its reference, as you can see. And here, as you can see, we have the CPU circuit components where we have inductors, MOSFETs, etc. So this is basically two inductors, two main inductors, means two channels for the CPU. This inductor is not for VCC core, it's for GFX core, okay, because inside this chip we have two chips integrated together, the CPU and the NOT bridge. So here we have the CPU and the NOT bridge. This is the graphic card, and this is the ICH or the SOT bridge. Okay, so we have two channels, as you can see, with two MOSFETs for each channel. In this side we have two MOSFETs for the first channel and two other MOSFETs for the second channel. So if we go to the back of the motherboard, we're gonna find the power management IC with these 10 ohm capacitors. As you can see, we have two 10 ohm capacitors for each channel with ceramic capacitors. And over here we have the CPU power management IC. So let's see this motherboard also. So here we have a CPU with the NOT bridge integrated together, and here we have the CPU circuits. So this is basically Intel i3, as you can see. So here we have the ICH. So the ICH, the BIOS, and in this chip we have three chips: the processor, the NOT bridge, and the graphic card. Okay. So basically this CPU contains also two channels because we have here two inductors. Okay, two inductors means two channels. Let's see the back of this motherboard. We have a 10 ohm capacitor with two MOSFETs. Okay, with ceramic capacitors, about two ceramic capacitors. For the second channel, 10 ohm capacitor, two MOSFETs with ceramic capacitors. So this is inductor PL39, and this is the power management IC. The power management IC. And here under the BIOS we have this sensor, temperature sensor. So how to diagnose a CPU circuit? You should always check the CPU first. Okay, you can just unlock the CPU socket and check whether the CPU is in good state or not. So to unlock basically the CPU socket, as you can see, we have two positions. Here we have lock, okay, and this side for unlock. You can just turn this screw and unlock the processor, and then check its pinout. So as you can see here, this is the CPU pinouts. So all pins are good. All these pins are serviceable, so no problem with the CPU. Also, you should check the socket, the CPU socket. It seems good. No damage in the CPU nor in the CPU socket. Now let's pass and check these MOSFETs. So basically MOSFETs are among the common faults on the CPU socket. You should just, to check the MOSFETs, you should check using the multimeter between source and drain. If you get any continuity or any buzzer, means the MOSFET is shorted or other component is shorted. Okay. Also, you can check the 10 ohm capacitors using always the multimeter. A 10 ohm capacitor should not give a continuity or a buzzer, and then check the ceramic capacitors around the IC. If you find any shorted ceramic capacitor or PF capacitor, means automatically the IC is bad.